Hey there, true crime fans. Welcome to Facts&Puzzle's True or False Crime Edition. Today, we're diving into 30 fascinating crime-themed statements. Some are true, and some are just too wild to be real. Think you can tell the difference? Let's find out. The infamous Al Capone was finally imprisoned for tax evasion. Al Capone was convicted for tax evasion in 1931, despite his numerous other criminal activities. The Zodiac Killer was identified and arrested in 1974. The Zodiac Killer was never caught, and his identity remains a mystery. Bonnie and Clyde were notorious bank robbers during the Great Depression. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were infamous outlaws known for their bank robberies. The Great Train Robbery of 1963 took place in France. The Great Train Robbery occurred in England, where robbers stole millions from a Royal Mail train. Jack the Ripper was caught and sentenced to life imprisonment. Jack the Ripper was never identified or captured, and his crimes remain unsolved. The FBI was founded to combat organized crime in the 1920s. The FBI was founded in 1908, and its early mission was broader than just combating organized crime. The term serial killer was coined by FBI agent Robert Ressler. Robert Ressler is credited with coining the term serial killer in the 1970s. Pablo Escobar was a famous Italian mafia boss. Pablo Escobar was a Colombian drug lord, not an Italian mafia boss. The Black Dahlia murder case remains unsolved to this day. The Black Dahlia case, involving the murder of Elizabeth Short, is still unsolved. The Unabomber, Ted Bundy, terrorized the U.S. with his mail bombs. The Unabomber was Ted Kaczynski, not Ted Bundy. Bundy was a serial killer. The first known use of forensic science was in ancient Rome. Forensic science traces its roots back to China, not ancient Rome. The heist at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston remains one of the largest unsolved art thefts. The 1990 heist at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is still unsolved and one of the largest art thefts. The Manson family murders were orchestrated by Charles Manson in the 1960s. Charles Manson led the Manson family in committing several murders in the late 1960s. The Salem witch trials took place in the 18th century. The Salem witch trials occurred in the late 17th century, specifically 1692 to 1693. The FBI's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list was created in the 1950s. The FBI's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list was established in 1950. John Dillinger was a famous train robber. John Dillinger was a notorious bank robber, not a train robber. The Pinkerton National Detective Agency was instrumental in stopping train robberies in the 19th century. The Pinkerton Agency played a significant role in combating train robberies in the 1800s. Jack the Ripper only targeted women who were aristocrats. Jack the Ripper targeted women who were primarily prostitutes in the Whitechapel district. The Central Park Five were found guilty of assaulting a jogger in the 1990s, but were later exonerated. The Central Park Five were wrongfully convicted in 1989 and later exonerated in 2002. Lizzie Borden was acquitted of the murders of her father and stepmother. Lizzie Borden was acquitted of the 1892 axe murders of her father and stepmother. The term cat burglar refers to burglars who specifically steal cats. Cat burglar refers to a burglar who enters buildings stealthily, not someone who steals cats. The Brinks Job, a famous robbery, took place in 1950 in Boston. The Brinks Job occurred in 1950 when thieves stole over $2.7 million from a Brinks armored car depot in Boston. The phrase "caught red-handed" originated from the Scottish law in the 15th century. The phrase "caught red-handed" is believed to have originated from Scottish law, referring to catching someone with blood on their hands after a murder. El Chapo, a notorious drug lord, escaped from prison using a motorcycle. Joaquim El Chapo Guzman escaped from a Mexican prison in 2015 using a motorcycle on rails through a tunnel. Bonnie and Clyde were never captured and continued their crime spree until old age. Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed and killed by law enforcement in 1934. The Lindbergh baby kidnapping was solved within days, and the child was safely returned. The Lindbergh baby was found deceased, and the case took years to solve with the arrest of Bruno Hauptmann. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre was a police operation against gangsters. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929 was a gangland execution, not a police operation. Amelia Earhart was found alive years after her disappearance. Amelia Earhart was never found, and her disappearance remains one of aviation's greatest mysteries.